Hi everyone, and welcome to the Wednesday support class. Great to be back for another Wednesday. I've actually pulled the blind. Can you believe I've actually got the blind down here? It's so bright, even with the blind down, this is how much light I've got in the room. Here's Basti, he's going to be looking after the chat from North Norfolk.
Morning everyone, lovely to see you.
So please just tell us where you are. Wow, yeah, it's just very, very hot around East Anglia at the moment. And I know last week I had a bit of a problem with too much light in the room, so I've actually got the blind closed. Okay, so welcome everyone. And yeah, we're going to continue these. We've decided we're going to continue these Wednesday classes forward right through the summer. We're going to take in turns a little bit later on in the summer to lead the class. And then in the autumn, we're a bit excited because we're going to put together a 10-week program, and we're going to try and get some more people to come in on the class. And we're going to kind of have a progressive program in the autumn of developing our own energy and looking after ourselves using Shiatsu and Qigong and acupressure and all the other cool things that we do. Okay, so yeah, we're going to still be here, and so tell all your friends, and yeah, we'd love to see you and all your friends on this class. Okay, so without further ado, let's find out how you are doing. Let's see how you're coping. I'm going to share this now, so just let us know kind of what your stress levels are like, and we'll get a feel for it. And then what we'll do is we'll check in a few ideas this week that I'd like to share with you based on what's been happening with clients, because we're having, about 2/3 of our clients coming back in now. And so we're seeing how the lockdown has affected our clients. And so maybe we can share some things with you that you can maybe do at home. Okay, right, so there we go. We've still got quite a few feeling stressed or very stressed, so we're going to really help you. And those of you that are feeling okay, let's just keep you there with this class. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remind you of this slide. We're going to and if there's anyone new to the group, I just want to share you the slide with you, and this shows you how your nervous system works. We've seen this right the way through lockdown and everything. We've seen trying to get into that green zone where our vagal nerve is working right, and we're basically chilled out, we're communicating, we're in the present, feeling grounded. And that red zone that a lot of us go in when there's a stress, that's completely natural. That's what gets us out there, gets us surviving. What we want to be able to do is go between the red and the green zone, not get stuck. And then I know not a lot of you, but a significant number of you in this group have been going into that blue zone, and that's completely understandable. That's when you get this shutdown feeling, this dissociation, this numb feeling, okay? And that's, again, a natural function of the nervous system to protect us, okay? But we really want to get you out of that if you're in that zone, because it's not very nice. It's actually designed for lizards, and it's something we've inherited through evolution. So thinking about those zones, I'm going to launch a new poll, and we're going to find out which zone or zones do you think you're in today, and we can design the session around that. Okay, so do you think you're in a mixture, red and green, mixture of red and blue, or do you think you're nice and safely in that green zone? Maybe if you're stuck in the red zone, you're stuck in that adrenal zone where you're kind of feeling kind of hyper aware all the time. Or in the blue zone, where you're pretty much all the time feeling really shut down and kind of numb. So let's just see where you're at. It's nice and warm here, I can tell you. Right, okay, so we've still got some work to do as a group, because we've still got some people stuck there in the red zone, and we've got a few people, again, who are mainly in that red and blue zone, so we want to try and get you back into the green zone. Okay, and based on what's happening with our clients, I've got a few ideas that we can do. Tweak this week's exercise. Okay, great. So let's just tune into our 3 heaters. That'll give me, again, an idea. This works as a handy fan as well, like this clipboard. Yeah, let's have a work on the. Let's have a tune in to our heaters. Remember how to do that? So if you're new to the group, this is where we tune into the 3 main energy areas in the body. That's the lower, middle, and the upper. They're called the heaters or the burners in Chinese medicine. Okay? And that gives us an idea of how we can focus this morning's exercises. So let's do a bit of internal tuning in, find out where we're at. Okay, so we need a piece of paper, very simple, divide it into 3. So we've got the upper, middle, and lower burners. going to close our eyes now, and we're going to go internally, and we're going to tune into the lower burner, which is below the navel, right down to the pelvic floor, right through into the sacrum, and it's that whole area there. Embryologically, there's a connection between that and the adrenal system, also linked to the ventral vagal system. So it's very important to get a feeling for that area. So let's do it. So we're going to close our eyes, we're going to go into that whole area, and we're just going to ask ourselves a simple question. I'm tuning in here, just give you a close up if you're not sure, just around this area here. We're asking ourselves, what is it like? What is this area? What is it like? Can you just stay with that for a few seconds? Okay, you've got a feel for it? Excellent. So now we're going to get out a piece of paper, and you can write or draw in the lower burner section. See how you're feeling there. Okay, and if you've been coming for a couple of months, 2 or 3 months, you can remember back to those original drawings that we did, and you can compare them and see how you're doing compared to a few weeks or even months ago. Great. Okay, time to go to the middle burner. That's this below the diaphragm. Below the diaphragm, it's right through here, and it's into the lower thoracic and the upper lumbar spine. So it's in this area here. Okay, you've got the stomach and the liver there. Internally. So let's close our eyes and tune into that area. You can place your hand there if you want to, or you can just tune in internally with your awareness. Okay, very good. And you ask yourself, what is that like? And also, if you can remember, I wonder how that's changed since last week. Okay, we're going to write or draw into that middle burner area. Got it? Okay, excellent. So now it's the upper burner, which is this whole chest area above the diaphragm, and in the back it can persist the whole of the thoracic spine. Okay, so we've got this whole area here. Obviously, we've got the lungs and we've got the heart there. So let's figure out what's going on in that area. So again, we're going to close our eyes, take our awareness internally. Okay, what is it like? Once you're ready, you get a piece of paper, and we're going to draw and see what that feels like. Okay, now just to remind you, according to Chinese medicine and Qigong, the lower burner should feel quite calm, and it should feel quite solid. It wants to feel kind of solid, like a solid base. The main thing is the solidity of it. If it feels a little bit weak or a bit unstable, and if it feels hot as well, that's not such a good thing, and that's worth working on. Middle burner, the main thing about that is it needs to be kind of freed up and released. Okay, it's a very common area for tension and obstruction to occur. And again, if there's too much heat, that's again not such a good thing. So it wants to be warm and open and moving, okay, and kind of relaxed. And the upper burner, they say, should be like a mist. It should be quite spacious, and definitely doesn't want to be dry. It should feel a kind of cool, almost kind of moist area. And if we're talking about the heart, that should be nice and regular and not constricted, okay? So thinking about that and thinking about your 3 drawings, if you can just let me know, or let us know, which of those 3 burners you'd like to work in. And this is, which burner would you most like to work on? And I can tweak it for you, okay? And this has been very interesting as a group, because this has definitely shifted as we've gone through the whole process of lockdown and everything. It's really, really changed. And one of the main things that's changed is that there's more emphasis on the upper and the middle burner. And look, we've got exactly the same thing happening today. Okay, so over half of you want to work on the upper burner there. Okay, so that's really, really interesting, and we'll make sure we do that. Okay, so I'll pace today for that, and I'd also like to work particularly on the jaw and the neck, because what I've noticed with a lot of clients coming in is a lot of tension is being held in the jaw and also around the neck, particularly the front of the neck, and that can restrict the vagal nerve functioning, and it can keep you from staying in the green zone. Okay, so those of you who are shifting a little bit too much in the red zone and the blue zone as well, we want to make sure we free that up. So we'll leave plenty of time for that. We'll also pace it a bit this week so that we can really take care of that upper burner. Okay, great. So let's get going. If you'd like to get into some space, we'll just create some space. And just bring the camera up slightly, I think. Very, very slightly. Yeah. Good. Okay, right. So now, it's still very important for us to start on the lower burner. And those of you who are lower and middle burner people, you know what I mean? We've got to get that base really strong. We need the base really strong and open and the middle relaxed. And then what we can do is we can work particularly on the upper burner and just kind of get that into a really good zone. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to work on the basis of connection between heaven and earth, and that's the alignment. So let's first of all, what I'd like you to do first of all is just stand, feet shoulder width apart, your feet slightly turned in, okay? And we're going to get that golden thread from the top of our head, and we're going to suspend ourselves from that golden thread. Now, if you think all the way down your spine, just thinking internally, get right down into your sacrum here, you can imagine your sacrum is just gently stretching your spine out. Okay? Okay, we're just doing a little bit of bouncing here. Can you see that? I'm just shaking slightly. I'm shaking any tension out of the spine. So I'm keeping it as straight as I can in a relaxed way, and I'm just shaking that sacrum down, keeping the hips relaxed, the knees relaxed, and the feet relaxed. Okay, very good. Okay, so now if you want to work on the upper burner, I'll tell you a secret, okay? A lot of the issues we have up here are linked to actually the lower burner, because the lower burner is not strong enough to root the breath and to calm the heart, because there are very important connections between the lungs and the heart and the lower burner, which is linked into the adrenal system, okay? So just check this out as we go through these exercises. Okay, we're bouncing. As we're bouncing, we're going to add in kidney 1. So now what I'd like to do is open up that bubbling spring point on your feet. Okay, keep the bouncing going. Okay, you've got the golden thread still there. Excellent. Okay, keep the shoulders relaxed. Okay, so now we're going to connect this bouncing with kidney 1. So now, just using your mind, you're going to open up kidney 1 in the sole of the foot. Relax your legs. Okay. And see if you can get the shaking, that gentle shaking, bouncing all the way down into your feet. Look, if I give you a side view, see what I'm doing? My spine is bouncing like that, my knees are bending a little bit, my feet opening up. Okay, now remember we do this a lot every time. And the reason for this is the gate of life. It's really important that we strengthen this area up. It's the root of the upper burners. So let's clap our hands together. But before we start doing the circling, let's spend a little bit of time sorting out the connection with breath. So if you place your hands here, okay, got it? Now, remember last week we did a lot of work on the breath, so let's just see if we can get our breathing down into this area here. So what I want you to do is take nice, easy breaths. As you breathe in, I want you to imagine the breath going down and collecting just to be just underneath your hands here. Hold the breath. And then breathe out. And relax. Okay, got it? Let's do a few more. Breathing in, bringing the breath in. Imagining it's going down into here. Okay. Breathe out. Now, as we breathe out, we just imagine that the air comes out and the actual energy, all the power of the breath stays here underneath our hand. And it's a way of charging up this lower heater area. Okay, let's do a few more. Okay, relaxing, a bit of a bounce, just to make sure everything's loose. Make sure that kidney one's open. Okay, breathing in. This should be moving out slightly as the breath comes in. And then breathing, and then hold the energy from the breath here. Keep your focus on this area here, the dantian. And then relax your breathing, relax your whole body. Allow the breath to come out. Okay, so energy from the breath. Into here. Focusing here. And then breathing out. Relaxing, opening up kidney one, connecting the whole body together. Okay, so we really want that to be in place before we start actually just doing the turning thing. Okay, this is just the external part. The internal part is bringing that breath down here, holding it here, relaxing the body and connecting down into the earth. Sound good? Okay, let's do it. So now we're going to do this turning here. Just do a bit of a close up. Just literally one hand over the other. And I'm just making a small circle around here. This is CV4 and CV6 if you're interested. Conception vessel 4 and 6, the gate of life. It's supposed to be the center of energy of the whole body. And it's the center of gravity of the body. You remember that Leonardo da Vinci picture, this one with the circle and the squares and all the lines and geometry of the body? This is your actual physical center of gravity. And the idea is we bring our mind, our attention there, and that helps release the tension and the emphasis that we tend to have in the upper body, okay? Because especially with modern life and stress, we tend to do this all the time. We're doing this and we get like top heavy all the time. And the remedy for that is to relax, bounce on your golden thread, open up your kidney one and bring your focus into this place in dantian, okay? So let's see if we can do that. It's not as easy as it sounds, is it? I know. Okay, so let's just do this just for a minute or two. And as we're doing that, we're going to internally follow the breath in. Feel the breath coming to just be underneath the hands. Hold it. And then the air comes out. And we relax the whole body. Keep that connection with the earth. Okay, let's do it a few more times. Keep the circling going. Breathing in. Hold the breath here. And breathe out. Okay. Right, breathing in. Connect with the earth. Very good. Okay, let's just do two more. Breathing in. Holding the breath there. Hold it and breathe out. Very, very good. One more. Keep the focus here. Relax your shoulders. A little bit of a bounce on that golden thread. Open up kidney one. Breathing in. And breathe out. Relax your hips. Send that breath down. Okay, so you're holding the energy from the breath here. And every time you breathe, you're going to bring more energy here. Okay, now I want a little check-in here. I want to check in with those upper burner people. Over half of you, okay, said that you wanted to work on the upper burner. Now, what I'd like to do now is just check in, okay? Check into the feeling of the upper burner. Has it changed? Okay, has it changed? You might want to just put that in the chat for Basti, and I'll have a look later. Okay, we've done 10 minutes of lower burner work. Now, if your upper burner has changed quite significantly in the last 10 minutes, there's a good probability that the reason you've got issues here, probably breathing, maybe constriction, maybe your heart feels a bit tight, that needs to be addressed by working on the lower burner. Because what can happen is you can get a lot of symptoms in the upper burner, but the root cause is this weakness here that you may not even be aware of. And that's because this area gets depleted with long-term stress. And we're getting a lot of that, obviously, because it's been several months now and there's a lot of uncertainty around. So that affects the lower burner and you get these symptoms that come up higher in the body. Okay. Now, if you didn't feel any change at all there and you're still upper burner, it might be the case we need to shift something here a little bit later on, and then we'll reconnect. Okay. But it's just increasing your awareness of these connections between work in one place and stuff happening somewhere else. Okay, interesting, isn't it? Very good. Okay, so now let's just do a little bit more work on the lower burner. We're going to just do this exercise. Clapping our hands together, relaxing. Okay, bringing the hands here. And we're going to just do this stimulating bladder 23, the kidney U point on the back. Remember this one? Okay, but we're going to keep the breathing going this time. So let's do that little bit of bouncing. If this is too much for you, your shoulders are aching or you haven't got the flexibility, just continue doing this one and send the breath down into the lower back, okay? So bouncing, a little bit of bouncing, a little bit of shaking with that sacrum, a little bit of relaxing the hips, open up that kidney one, okay? Rotate, 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 okay? And now the breathing, breathe into the lower dantian. Now, can you feel that breath going into the lower back? You should feel the lower back slightly expanding here as the breath goes in because the diaphragm's dropping down. If you can, that's really excellent, okay? And then hold the breath down in the dantian. Very good, okay? And then breathe out, just let the air come out. Just do a couple more breathing in. A little bit of bouncing, keep those legs really relaxed and connected to the earth. Okay, hold the breath down there. And then breathe out. Very good. Okay, got it? Okay, just one more, breathing in. Can you feel your lumbar muscles expanding a little bit there? If you can, that's great. Hold it. Okay, and breathe out. Sink the energy down. Okay, very, very good. Okay, that's a really good workout for the lower burner. Excellent. So now let's go on to the middle burner, and we'll need plenty of time to see what we can do with the upper burner. Okay, the middle burner is the one that needs to be kept flexible. Okay, we need to move the chi here. Now, if you press around and press right underneath your diaphragm, okay, press right in here, this area should be completely pain-free and obstruction-free, okay? And certainly in modern life, it's quite rare to be able to press right in here and not get a sensation of at least some kind of stiffness and kind of pain if you press in quite deeply. Okay, what we're doing here is we're massaging the liver and the stomach, but we're also, if you press right up into here, you'll feel the diaphragm, which is a very big muscle in the body, which is also prone to getting very, very stiff. Okay. Okay, so just check out, see whether you're getting any sensitivity there. We'll do 5 or 10 minutes of middle burner stuff, and then we'll check back in again, see whether it feels a little bit freed up, okay? So this is one of our favorites, isn't it? This twisting exercise, remember? Okay. Now, those of you that are in the blue zone or moving into the blue zone, you want to be careful relaxing too much with the breathing because you want to kind of energize things. So let's energize ourselves a bit with this exercise. We're going to emphasize the in-breath. If you're in the red zone, you want to really emphasize the out-breath. Okay, so we're going to use this to regulate the nervous system. If you feel kind of like a little bit depressed and it's a bit kind of low and you feel a bit stuck, you want to emphasize the in-breath with this exercise. Okay, so it's like... Okay, now if you're in the red zone or you want to stay in the green zone, then you want to emphasize the exhalation. So it's... Okay, got it? So if you feel yourself getting into that blue zone, and you're doing your meditation and you're doing your slow breathing and you're wondering why it's not working, it's because it's not what you need, okay? If you're in that blue zone or moving into the blue zone, you want to emphasize the inhalation because that will energize you and it will get you back through the red zone, back down to the green zone, okay? So let's just try that. You can just do whatever you feel you need. And if you're kind of fairly chilled in the green zone and everything is okay, you can just keep the breathing nice and even so you're not pressing it down, parasympathetic or sympathetic nervous system, okay? Right? Okay, so we'll just do this. And now once we've got the breathing sorted out, let's focus that on middle burner, okay? And this is a great exercise for that. We keep the hips forwards and we're turning. See if you can feel your whole diaphragm and your whole middle of your body there relaxing. Okay, got that? Okay, now let's add in the thread again. Okay, now got that. Remember the thread from before? Okay, do you want to stop for a second? Let's get that thread back. Let's get that bounce going. Okay, got it? Okay, now imagine someone's twiddling that thread and turning it. That will keep your spine released. Okay, and it will bring in another quality to this exercise. So you've got the spine releasing, connecting with the earth, and you've got releasing the middle burner. Okay? And you're using your breath to regulate that. Okay? Feeling a little bit stuck and a bit kind of depressed, get that in breath to energize you, activate you. Okay, that's a very good combination of breathing and movement. The reason for that is because quite often we get a lot of emotions stuck in here, and in fact the liver in Chinese medicine is most closely related to depression. Okay, it's one of the main organs of the body in Chinese medicine related to depression and that kind of stuck feeling. So if you emphasize that in breath, do this exercise, you're going to start freeing yourself up from that kind of blue state there. Okay, very good. So now, what about a little bit going? It's a bit too hot for too much tapping today, but let's just help out our middle burner with a little bit of tapping down the channels, okay? Now, just to remind you, we've got the liver channel, which is, the liver's here. The liver channel goes down the gallbladder goes down the outside, and the liver comes up the inside of the body. So let's do that first. Let's do a little bit of tapping on the side of the body. There's some very good points along the rib cage here that are used for the liver. And then we're going to tap down the outside of the legs. All the way down, and then up the inside of the legs. Very good. Okay, let's do that one more time. Well, two more times. Let's do it 3 times in total. Up, down. Right at the back of that adductor muscle, down the outside again. Okay, very good. All right, so now what about the stomach? That goes down the front of the body, so we just tap here, either side of the center line here. Channel actually runs down here, down this part, and then down the legs. Okay, so down the outside of the legs here. Outside front of the legs, and for this one, 3 mile point, and up the inside of the legs. Here we go. One more time. Just give you a bit of a close up down here. And up the inside. Okay, and those are the channels that are related to the middle burner. We've got the gallbladder and the liver, and the stomach and the spleen. Okay, so what should happen now is that channel work and the twisting, and particularly the breathing if you're in that red kind of blue zone area, should have done something here. So let's just check. Okay, so let's just get our fingers again and press in. Can you feel that difference? It's a lot more flexible and less discomfort, okay? And that means that you've shifted. If you had a bit of pain and discomfort there before, that means you've shifted it. Even just 10 minutes there of twisting, alignment, and channel work just releases that whole middle burner. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so upper burner people. Okay, so that's the lower and the middle burner. Those of you who are the upper burner people. Okay, what I want you to do now is just check in again. Let's just check in. We can all do that. We're just going to close our eyes and scan through those burners. Okay, now if you're an upper burner person and you notice more change there in the last 10 minutes, that could be because some of the middle burners are affecting the upper burner, and there's connections there as well, which we can go into when we do more of this kind of stuff in the autumn. We go into more some of the technicalities of it, those of you who are interested. But basically, the middle burner can obstruct things in the upper burner, and it can affect the heart and the lungs. So if you're an upper burner person and you're feeling a lot better now in the upper burner, it could be because you need to work these other lower burners, and this is just a symptom that the cause is more lower down. Okay, so we're finding out about ourselves, we're finding out about how our energy works, what we can do about it to keep ourselves nice and balanced. Okay, so now it's upper burner special, okay, and this obviously also can help the middle and the lower burners as well, but let's work a little bit more specifically on the upper burner. There's two main things that can cause problems in the upper burner, and that's the lungs and the heart, basically the pericardium. So let's work the lungs first, okay, and I'm going to just show you some more interesting acupressure points that you might find interesting. Now, if you feel around here, I want you to feel your collarbone, okay, and feel down along underneath the collarbone until you get to just here, which is right where you can't go any further, okay? That's actually lung 2, which is the second point of the lung meridian. If you go down a bit to about here and feel around, you'll feel kind of a sensitive indentation place. And that's lung 1, that's the first point of the lung channel. So if you feel around there, and if you've got a feeling of pain or stiffness there, that could mean that your lung channel is obstructed. And if you're feeling kind of a little bit sad maybe, or maybe grief, you've got grief or sadness happening, and you feel the stiffness around this area here, that's a very good sign that your lung channel is blocked. Now, internally, the lung channel goes up into the throat, right? There's actually facial connections with the lung channel and the throat. So you can get things like feelings in the throat, speech problems, sometimes coughing, that kind of thing that are connected to it. Okay, and internally it runs into the lung organ, so it connects with the lung organ. So what you want to do really, first of all, is just feel around here and see what it feels like. It should feel pain-free, it should feel open, kind of open, expanded feeling. Okay. Another way you can test your lung channel is to do the Makaho stretch, and we'll do that now. So if you link your thumbs together, so I'm linking my thumbs like this, okay? And then what you do is you breathe in, you breathe out, you go forwards like this, okay? And you point your first finger up towards the ceiling. Now you can see the logic behind that, because look what's happening. Then I'm opening my arms up here, I'm stretching this part of my chest, aren't I? Okay. So look, what I want you to do now is feel what that's like. Does it feel stiff? Does it feel easy? Okay. If it feels kind of obstructed, a little bit painful maybe, and a bit stiff, again, that's an indication the whole lung channel needs work. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay. We're going to do some Qigong exercises, and I'll show you some acupressure techniques for opening up the lung channel. Okay. So remember this one, this is our favorite one for the lungs. This is a really good Qigong exercise, a medical Qigong exercise. It's used for treating any type of lung problems. Physically, obviously, the asthma, breathing problems, hay fever. And emotionally, it's very much to do with structuring your life. It's to do with letting go, grief, positivity, feeling the value of your life, things like that related to the lung channel. Okay. And if you're not feeling your life's got any value, you're feeling very isolated, that's the kind of thing that can affect the lung channel. and give you that kind of depressed type of feeling, okay? So what we want to do is open the channel up and get some positivity and some connection into our energy. And we're doing that by opening the channel, bringing the thumbs outwards like this, and you'll feel it. If you do it in slow motion, hold here, okay? Hold around where lung 1 and lung 2 is. Do it in slow motion, bring your arm back. Can you feel that? Just when you get to here, you can feel a kind of a line of tension along the connective tissue that runs through into this part of the arm and down into the hand. And that's what we're doing. When we do this, we're opening that area up and we're forming a connection between the channel and the internal facial pathways that go into the lungs and into the throat. Okay? So it's all to do with internal release. So let's get that pendulum, let's get the golden thread bouncing us again. Remember that? Okay, that's the theme of today, getting that pendulum, not pendulum, but get that golden thread. It's just kind of like a pendulum in a way. This is the heavy part and this is the thread. Get that. Once we've got that, we release the hips and then we go back into this. Okay, keep that lung 1 and lung 2 area open. Very good, okay? Nice and easy, no effort at all. We're just lifting it up, dropping it down. Really easy, keep that alignment. Okay, ready to add in the breathing? Now with the breathing, we're going to still send the breathing down into the dantian. Okay? The reason for that is because in Chinese medicine, the lungs are supposed to descend the qi, descend the energy down the body, and that's what we want to encourage. So keep that open, keep that lung 1, 2 area opening, and then breathing into the dantian. Okay, now can you feel how amazing that is? Now, if you're one of the lungy type upper burner people, okay, what you'll find is the more you bring that breath down there, the more you do this, the more space you'll get here. Just see what I mean? Keep breathing. Keep breathing into this area here. Now, if you bring your focus down there, what you'll find is you'll get a sensation of more and more space here. On an emotional level, that's closely related to a feeling of positivity and release. Okay, I'll show you exactly what the opposite is, which is what you may have been feeling is this. Okay, you see how the breath tends to go high in the body, okay, tension in the shoulders and obstruction in the lung channel. Over a long period of time, you get this type of body shape from that. Will start to occur, okay? Okay? And we really don't want that, okay? You can see how we're unwinding it by opening up lung 1 and 2, bringing in the alignment, creating space in the upper body, and then look, watch this, dropping the energy down to the dantian. See that? Look. Okay? And that's how to do it. That's how to get that feeling of space here and relaxation and positivity in the upper burner. Okay? Very good. Okay, so let's just keep doing that for a bit. And I'll show you some points in a moment. Okay, now keep going, keep that bouncing, keep those feet open, keep that breath nice and low in the body, down into the dantian. Okay, that's looking really good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Right. So now I'd like you to just visualize the channel. Okay. Just visualize it internally. It goes from here, where we already touched here, lung 1 and 2. It goes down towards the thumb. So just imagine a line going down from here, all the way down into your thumb. Okay, and I'll show you some points. Okay, if you take your elbow here, you'll find there's a tendon here. So you can twang that tendon here. You feel that? Some very noticeable tendon here. Just to the outside of that, there's an indentation, and that's lung 5. Okay, that's a very good lung point. It's very useful for opening up the lungs. Okay, so you want to try that? Okay, those of you who are interested in this, we can just do this. Hold here. Relax your shoulders, gently press in. Okay, and you'll probably get a sensation deep into your chest. Can you feel that through the channel and into your chest? You can feel kind of like a releasing sensation in the facial planes that connect into the chest. Okay, so if you do have some breathing problems or maybe some emotional problems related to the lungs, you might want to do self-shiatsu routine and start off with this point, lung 5. Remember this tendon? Let's do the other side. This one here. Pressing in, relaxing the lungs. Feel a connection between this point and the internal lining of the lungs. You might get a kind of warm feeling or just a sensation of awareness in the lungs there, and that means you've got the point. Okay, so that's lung 5. Other really useful points on the lung channel. Okay, we have lung 9 here, which is on the wrist crease. So if you get your wrist here, you've got the thumb coming down, the thumb's here obviously, and the lung channel runs down here and into there. So we can press here. Let's just see if we can get that connection all the way into the lungs. It's a bit further away now, so I'm relaxing, feeling my breathing. Okay, you may get a sensation of connection between this point and the internal lining of your lungs. This point here, which is kind of on the bulge of the thumb here, that's lung 10. And that's more used for throat problems. So if you press into here, I'll show you where it is. It's right along the thumb here. Not quite into this bulgy bit, just a bit further round so you can get into just underneath the bone there. Okay, and just if you relax your arm, there's a pretty good chance you're going to feel that in your throat because there's a direct facial connection all the way up from there into the throat. So that's used for treating the throat. And then we can go down here into the thumb. Okay, so on the other hand, we've got lung 9 here on the wrist. Let's see if we can feel that. Relaxing, breathing. Okay, lung 10. Just trying all the different angles to try and get you to see it. And then we're pressing into there. See if you can feel that in your throat. Yeah. And then down to the end of the channel. Okay, so there's a little self-shiatsu techniques for pressing some points. We've got lung 5, just to review. We've got outside of the twangy tendon. Okay, really good point. You can feel that, I'm sure, right into the lungs. And then these other points that are used for breathing, the throat, and then finally off to the end of the thumb. Okay, all right, so let's try it and let's check it out. Okay, let's check out how we're doing. Let's do the little test with the stretching. Now let's do this again. Remember before, can you remember how, if that felt too tight and painful? Let's see what it feels like now. We're going to link the thumbs together and we're going to bend forwards and just feel how much easier it is to just bring those arms up and how much freer it feels around the front of the shoulder. Whoa, okay, that's pretty different. Okay, and that's because we've opened up that lung channel. Really good for positivity, grief, letting go, valuing yourself and feeling basically positive about things. Okay, really worth doing. Okay, excellent. So that's the lungs. And if you just check in for a second to your breathing and your upper heater, you should feel a nice spacious feeling, nice relaxed feeling in the upper heater. Maybe a little tingling down the arms. It's really good opening up the lung channel. Okay, excellent. Excellent stuff. So now let's work on the heart. Okay, the heart is the other main organ in the upper body, obviously, and it's obviously where we hold a lot of stress. You get arrhythmia, you get feeling of gripping in the heart. These kind of things are very common with stress. I'm going to spend a little bit of time working on the face, head and face, because the vagal nerve has a special connection with the heart. And so basically what happens is this, you kind of get this type of thing, stress blocking up the heart, really tension in the neck, holding the jaw, and you're like this. Okay? You can imagine that kind of body tension. Okay, so what we want to do is relax the heart area, relax the neck, relax the jaw, and open everything up to give us that feeling of calmness and relaxation in the heart. So let's do it. Okay, so we've got these channels here, pericardium and the heart channels. Let's do some stretching to start with. Bring our hands forwards, okay, breathing in, breathing out. And open up this way, and this channel links directly with the pericardium. I'm sure that if you get to about here, you'll start to feel a line of tension or a sensation through into your chest and into the outer edge of the heart, and that's the pericardium. Okay, and that's what we want to free up and give more space to. Okay, so let's do it in a kind of breathing way. Let's get that golden thread. Let's get that sacrum hanging down. Okay, let's breathe in. Let's breathe out. Keep that bouncing. Space and relaxation in the heart. Okay, very good. Let's do it another time. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, breathing in and breathing out. Very good. Let's just do one more for luck. Breathing in and breathing out. Okay, very good. Then we'll just shake out a little bit. We'll do some stretching for the heart channel. For this one, we're going to bring the hands into the prayer position. We're going to bring our arms up behind us. Okay, and we're going to open up the armpits. Very important, because the armpits are where heart one comes out from inside the body. So we're going to open up that armpit, breathe in, and we're going to stretch backwards. Just gently move your elbows outwards. Okay, and we'll just do another breath, breathing in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay, very good. Okay, so there's the stretches for the pericardium and for the heart. So let's do some self-shiatsu techniques, and I'll show you some really important points are for the heart. Okay, so we have the elbow here. And if you look at your elbow, look down, you see the elbow crease goes down to hit down towards the inside of the elbow bone there. Okay. Now, if you follow that crease down until you get to the end of it and gently press in, there's like a little indentation there, just right on the inside of the elbow. Okay. And that's heart 3. So let's check it out. Let's just relax. Hold the point. Tune in internally to the feeling of the heart, and then gently press it in, opening up the armpit. And just if you can feel a connection right there, all the way into the heart. Got that feeling? Okay, that's kind of a nice feeling, isn't it? And the reason for that is because the heart in Chinese medicine is related to joy. It's related to happiness and joy, and a kind of calm, happy, joyful feeling. And you notice that that's very closely connected to the ventral vagal system. And it's almost like they had the whole ventral vagal thing mapped out in Chinese medicine long before we knew about the actual pathway of the nerves. Okay, now look, here we go. Crease, indentation, we'll do it onto the left arm. Okay. Standing, keep the elbow slightly bent. See how I'm doing that? Connect that point in with the heart. You got it? Notice there's a kind of calming, kind of releasing feeling at that point. And it's one of the points we use a lot in Shiatsu to kind of cool and relax the heart. Now, if you follow the heart channel down, we get to here, the wrist crease. Just in here, got heart 7, and this is a great point for insomnia. In fact, you can hold it like this. This is what I often recommend to my clients. If you hold that point there, twist your hand around, then you can lie down and keep your hand there, just holding that point. A good way to work it is to get a circuit of energy from your chest. So let's breathe into the chest this time, breathe into the heart center. Breathe out. Okay, now I want you to imagine like a circuit of energy going around through your arms and through this point here, because then that will basically calm the heart. Okay, you're imagining like a circuit through the heart, down the arms, and into this point here, heart 7. Very good, okay? You feel that calming kind of feeling coming in. And that's what we really need. Those of you who are stuck there in the blue and the red zone, once you deactivate down into the red zone and towards the green zone, this is the kind of point you need to just get that ventral vagal system really, really stable and get you into that more positive state of groundedness and communication that we all need. Okay, that's been one of the big challenges of lockdown, has been the isolation and that lack of social contact, which mammals, particularly humans, really need to regulate the vagal system. And so what we've been doing in these Wednesday classes is we've basically been allowing you to tune into that and regulate your own nervous system, basically compensate for the lack of social action on social interaction on your energy system. Okay, we've given you lots and lots of tools to do that. Very, very useful stuff from traditional practices. Okay, you just squeeze down into your little finger. Okay, right. Okay, now let's just check it out, shall we? Let's just do one stretch like this. Breathe in, breathe out. Nice, you see, freer and more open. And now let's just do this one more time. Open that armpit. Okay, now you should feel more of a tingling feeling along the channel, and the channel should feel more open because of the pressure that we put on the points and the energy exercise we've done for the points. And it should feel nice and relaxed and nice and open. Okay, upper heater people, let's just tune into that upper heater now. You might want to ask yourself a question. Are you more of a lungy type upper burner person? Are you more kind of feeling, were you feeling more like kind of sadness, or were you more of a heart upper heater person? Were you feeling a little bit more panicky, maybe a bit more anxious? Okay, so now hopefully you get that more positive feeling, positivity and calmness and kind of joyful feeling in the upper heater. That's what we want. Now, a very important part, we found this with a lot of clients coming in for the first time, is that what's happened is, because again this ventral vagal system's been under stress for such a long time, is you've got chronic tension in the jaw, and particularly around the neck, and particularly the front of the neck, because the ventral vagal system works through here. So if your hands are not too sweaty, let's do 5 minutes of releasing the face. And we're going to focus very much on the jaw today, which is, I've noticed that it's happening a lot. If you feel down here, and you just feel basically under the cheekbones, get just in front of your ears there, and just gently press in. That area should feel soft and relaxed and completely pain-free. Okay, so if you've got any feelings of like tension or any pain at all here around this area where the jaw comes up, that's an indication that you've probably got too much jaw tension, maybe clenching at night and stuff like that. So let's work on that. Okay, we're just going to relax the jaw open. We're going to use self-shiatsu techniques all the way around here. Okay, another way of getting to it is to go around the lower jaw like this, and you'll get to the same point, right? So you go around here, and you get to the same area. Now, if you open your jaw really wide, it kind of feels like it's sticking, the bone's sticking throughout. You know what I mean? And that means that's because of the way the jaw articulates. And if you open your mouth up and close it again, right in there, you've got to make sure you free up that area. If you come from here, remember welcome smell and those points, and you come round this way, underneath the cheekbones, you end up at the same place, okay? So let's just make sure that we get that area as freed up as we can. And basically, I'm just using gentle but persistent pressure with my fingertips and wiggling and opening my jaw. Okay, there's also some connections up with the temples, so we're just going to press around the temples and press around the top of the head. Main thing you want to do, make sure is this jaw is nice and open and relaxed. Okay, so now the back of the neck, remember this one, where we're just going to clench the hands together and squeeze down the back of the neck. Okay, this is where I'd really like you to focus on today, and this is this SCM muscle here. We tend to think of the neck as the main muscles, the trapezius and things, but this is sometimes gets left out, and this is a really important part of the neck. If you move your head around and stretch it about, you'll feel a big muscle here that goes down, right down into here, and it kind of goes up here and into just in front of the ear, and that's the sternocleidomastoid muscle, SCM for short. And if you can feel down there, and what I like to do is pinch it like this. So I've got my thumb behind it, and I've got my forefinger on the front. Now that should feel soft, and it should feel kind of relaxed, strong, but soft and relaxed. If you're getting any tension there and stiffness, I really recommend that you work this whole area on the front of your neck until you get it to release, because that will help, again, the vagal connection between the jaw, the eyes and the ears and the heart particularly, okay? And with chronic stress, this is one of those places that we've noticed after coming out of lockdown that a lot of people are holding a lot of tension here. Okay, so do you want to make sure that you get that really relaxed? And I know it sounds almost too simple to be true, but seriously, if you release this, especially if you're edging towards the blue zone, and you're going up with the red zone, if you release this and you open all of this out, combine it with what we've done today, you are going to feel happier. It's just a physiological thing. You'll feel more happy and more positive about things. Okay, and the reason that you're maybe finding that hard is simply because all of us have tended to store up stress over the last few months. Okay, and it's quite a natural thing to happen, and we can do something about it. Okay, excellent. Very good. Okay, time to tune in and check in. So keep that jaw released and let's just bounce up and down a few times. Try to get that throat nice and open. All that lung work will help that throat again open up. Okay, let's get that golden thread bouncing us. Okay, connect with the earth. Very good, excellent. Okay, we covered a lot today. So now let's tune into those three burners and tune into our energy as a whole. Tune into your lower burner and just compare it with what it was like an hour ago. Tune into your middle burner. Compare it with what it was like an hour ago. Okay, and now tune into your upper burner. And again, compare it what it was like an hour ago. Quick check of the diaphragm. Still feel more relaxed? Excellent. Okay, so let's see how we've done. I just launched the poll to see how you feel compared to an hour ago. Just let us know if you feel more balanced, about the same, or less balanced. If you feel less balanced, which happens sometimes, it means that there's been a release, and that's always a good thing. When we store up tension, sometimes it kind of is a little bit tough when it releases. Okay, but let's just see how you're feeling. Okay, thank you very much. What a lovely class. I tried to keep it as relaxed as possible because it's so hot here. And really thanks to Basti for looking after you in the chat. And yeah, it's been a lovely, wonderful class. We're going to come back and we're going to keep it going all the way through the summer. I'm going to go on holiday for a few weeks in a few weeks' time, and some of the other people in the team are going to take over the Wednesday slot.
All good.
Thanks so much,
Great
Basti.
class, Cliff. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. It's really quite great. It's really good process for me because we're getting more and more clients in face to face. I can see patterns emerging. Once I get that feedback from the group, I can kind of tailor it just as much as I can for your group. So I really find that very interesting, and it's a lot of fun. Okay, so I'm going to put something like a big thumbs up in the chat. I can find
Well
it.
done,
Yeah,
everyone.
okay.
Amazing outcome, seeing as so many people put in that they were feeling much more balanced.
Yeah, exactly. We're right up in the nearly up in the hundreds. And those of you who still feel a bit the same, I just encourage you, probably need just more than an hour. So just practice it every day, look at the recordings, and we'll see you next week.